Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Jahlial in this incarnation, and today I wanted to talk about a little bit more of this transit between Mars in Sagittarius, making this square with Saturn in Pisces. This was part of the full moon, and as other aspects, this is going to be perfected on the next week. In fact, this is perfected on December 8th. We are going to feel these days afters, and it is mixed up with the square between Mars and Sagittarius and Neptune in Pisces that is also going to be the next days. I mean, Saturn and Neptune have been in conjunction since the last year. And I wanted to clarify certain things so you can understand the magnitude of this transit. The conjunction between them, this means that what is required right now to move forward, it is very linked with making contact with reality, letting go of illusions that many times are sustained because believing in those idealized forms of reality is a mechanism of protection of pain. But Saturn right now is encouraging us to face with experience, whether this is internal and external too. Taking responsibility for the intentions, the perceptions, and emotional aspects that could many times lead us to sustain situations or relationships that are not representing growth, and therefore they are not coming from love, at least not love in its essence. Could be a conditioning that makes us interpret love in a certain way. But this is a time to develop maturity. On the other side, for some people, this could be the challenging of learning to trust in their intuition, even if right now they are not seeing like specific results in that area of life. I am referring to trusting the decisions that are being felt coherent with their hearts. Beyond how I am mixing languages, beyond how other people or the external could see those decisions. And these aspects, we are feeling them a lot, and we are going to feel them a lot because we are not going to have a square between Mars in Sagittarius and Saturn in Pisces until Saturn accomplish its cycle of 29 years. And Neptune has a more an extensor, I don't know if this word exists, an extensor cycle that is close to 164 years. And so Pisces is the sign of the great endings. This is the dissolution of an era. So coming back to this tension, many of the decisions or the processes that we are experimenting in those areas of the natal chart are decisions that had to do with establishing a final boundary, a final limit to a situation, or transiting the last passage regarding a structure, a construction that we have been building. Because all of us, we are going to initiate very different cycles when Saturn and Neptune enter in Aries in 2026. It is very probable that the situations in these days that are perhaps bringing certain frustrations, challenges, the sensation of limitation aren't new. These are situations that we have going through, or at least they respond to certain patterns or kind of learnings that we have seen since Saturn entered in Pisces in 2023. And I want to remind this thing about, trusting in the inner voice, because many times there is no bigger blockage than our own mind believing that we don't have possibilities to move forward. Perhaps the possibilities are not the ones that we are visualizing, but there could be others. And in other situations, it is the anger, the conflicts, the signal that there is energy that is not being limited. It is, the signal of putting ourselves aside, repressing our voice of the soul to sustain relationships or other situations, because that is confused with unconditional love, linked with Pisces, with actually emotional attachment, or because there is an aspect of us that is in resistance to develop this maturity. Perhaps because this implies to move forward alone, or letting go of something that it cannot participate of the path anymore. And many times I heard people saying that unconditional love is not something possible in this plane of the matter, because actually it requires of certain conditions. I believe that it does, but it doesn't mean that this is absence of healthy boundaries. For example, the recognition of what experience taught us when we have assimilated that, even if it was painful, is a form of love that is enabled. And love has many, many forms because the entire creation is love. In fact, there are Kabbalistic teachings that are explaining this. This is very complex, but basically the infinite is self-contracted to give way to the existence, and the point where the darkness is revealed, where it's revealed, not where it is born. Truly in Kabbalah it is called the lamp of darkness. I mean, darkness appears so the universes can be created from the most subtle ones to the denser as the matter. So in this point occurs in the dimension of Tiferet, which is a dimension in the tree of life. This happens in higher worlds, to put in some way, to make a summary. And this Tiferet, in among other aspects, is the dimension of the tree of life that incarnates beauty and love. Therefore, everything that is created is born from this love of the infinite, or God. You can call it God too. So I just wanted to mention this because I loved to find that that explanation from Kabbalah. My intention, it is not to enter in this topic because it is very extensive, and I don't feel that I'm a authority to teach these kind of things. But I leave the thread so you can investigate later. And coming back to the tension between Mars and Saturn, if this is about making a decision regarding construction, a structure, we are talking about something that we have been sustaining for a while. So we have been investing time, energy, resources. So in the cases where people need to let go of course, this is going to be emotionally steering. In other cases, perhaps are like challenges that are being presented and that are testing us how much willing we are to sustain that coherence with our soul, even if things right now doesn't appear to go exactly where we want to. Other aspect of this square could be, realizing that the vision that is impulsing certain actions or directions, it is not, belonging to the soul. It is not parting from this maturity. When we are insisting in places or in ways because we believe that the expansion has to happen that way or in that space or with that person, when reality is actually showing the opposite, there is a shadow of attachment of what we think that is beneficial. And that doesn't allow us to open ourselves so life can bring experiences of expansion that go beyond the limitations of our perception. And well, in fact, I haven't seen the news, but clearly this could speak to us of conflicts, ideological battles. This is the shadow of Sagittarius, the fanatisms. And Saturn in Pisces shows us that it is the same, the ideology, if it's right or, right or left, because every ideology disconnected of the spiritual plane, centered only in material aspects and linked with a system that is not giving anything else, lost its sense. And more than worrying to, put labels to packages of ideas, the important things are the actions and the responsibility that each one takes for their own path and for the way that we are impacting what surrounds us. So if you are investing your energy in something that is making you enter in battles or with someone or something, or perhaps the conflict is internal, that is showing an imbalance. And of course, we all can have them because we are human beings, but taking the responsibility for them, to change them, is a priority for oneself and for society, for the world. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.